welcome to DecoColor and welcome to my first video with the Academy of Scrapbook Arts. I am one of their committee members and design team members and I'm super excited to be sharing this with you. I hope you've already got your entry registered. If not, there is a coupon code in the description below. Plus you can also find out about how to get a free entry as well. And if you watch this on the DecoColor channel, there's also a blog post on the Academy's website as well. So you can check that out in the description below. I'll also link up, of course, everything I am using today as well for you. So let's dive right in because I am creating a scrapbook page, which I haven't done in a very long time, but I had great fun with Hannah creating this one. She came up with a fab idea and we worked on this together, which was really fun to work with a crafty friend as well. So let's dive in. This is the finished page that we came up with. So we did kind of a geometric pattern. We did some kind of ombre things as well. And then we stacked these die cuts. So this is a Tonic Dear Santa die cut, which we did in the gold satin paper and then in the red. And we just offset them slightly. So we just kind of like slid them slightly on there. And then we matted our photo on red. And then we have the vellum in the background here. And then we have that gold satin paper as well. So it kind of ties everything together. And then we matted lots of layers because we really wanted to tie all those colours together. So we have the black, the green, the red, and then that piece that we're going to be creating in a moment. And then I wanted to show you a new tool that made this layering really, really easy, which are these We Are layering guides. So if you haven't seen these are fantastic. So you get 3 in the pack and they let you layer at different things. So this one tells you 1/16, 5/16, ½ inch if I turn it around, and 3/16. Then there's an 1/8, there's 3/8, there's 5/8, there's a 1/4 inch, 3/4 of an inch, and also a whole inch as well. And you'll see that they have grooves in them. You can kind of see if I put my fingers behind. And the way that this works is that you put it onto your paper. So let's grab the, I think I worked with, I want to say an 1/4 inch. Don't quote me on that because we might find out that that was not what I worked with at all. But what you get to do is that those grooves are great because they actually stack up against the paper. So when I'm putting my next piece down is I line this up, I put this up against my groove, and then I take my next piece of paper, I put it in up against this ruler, and then I know I've got that perfect straight matting on that piece. And then I can also do the same at the bottom, so I could then have my matting down here, and so on and so on. So I think that's a really, really neat little way to do it. And they do them in large size for scrapbookers. I also have the smaller ones that I keep in my drawer because I bought those. So if you're a card maker, they also do them in card maker size as well. So you can get them in both sizes. So they're a really neat little tool that's just been released. And this technique could also be used in a card. This would make a beautiful card background as well. So I'm going to slide this one to the side so that we can work on this. So this here is a large sheet of watercolor paper that we got from one of the big box stores. And all we did was take a ruler and we just drew lines. So really random. You'll notice that both of them are very different. So if I bring that one back, you can see this one is very different from this one because it literally was just a random pattern. There was no kind of thinking about it. We just drew lines, created triangles and fun shapes. This one ended up with a really nice kind of zigzag along here. And then we started painting. I'm going to show you the techniques we used for painting. So we used, for the red, we've used the Nuvo Aquaflow pens, and I really like working with these because they already have the colour in. So when I work with them, you can see here, I can just put them down on my palette, and I'm going to find a square that doesn't have any red near it particularly. So let's take this one over here, and I really kind of have control over how much ink I want to lay down. So I can put lots down here, like this. You can see it's got a lovely fine tip on it as well. And then I can also take my paintbrush, and I have my little pot of water here, and this is a dispenser, and you can lock the dispenser, but this is kind of like, you know when you have your nails done and the girls kind of pump the stuff they use for your acrylic nails? Well, you can now get these from Brutus Monroe, and so I can pick up some of that red with my paintbrush. Actually, I'm going to pick up a little bit more water. And then I'm just going to pull some of that colour and I'm going to fade it out. So again, I can use this colour in many, many different ways. So these are a liquid watercolour pen rather than having a bottle with a dropper and things like that. And I just like the control it gives me. And you can see this is how we got that really pretty faded effect, like this. So just touching that last bit in. I have to say Hannah has a much steadier hand than I do. So there and there. I'm also going to show you at the end how we hid any kind of bleeds and sins in there as well, because we all make mistakes. Even though we do this and we make YouTube videos, we make mistakes too. But you can see this is the square I just did. So I started off with the pen and then I just used my water and the little bit that I put on my palette and I just softened out those edges and I kind of made it into that ombre effect. So once you've done that, I'm going to show you another way that we can add colour. I'm going to grab another paintbrush and I'm using Nuvo paintbrushes because you get a ton of them in the pack and you get everything from flat ones like this to pointy ones like this, and you also get real fine points in the pack as well. And you get, I think there's huge amounts in the pack, I can't remember the exact amount. Now I'm going to use Shimmer powder. This again is a Tonic colour burst powder. So this has multiple colours in it. This is the Atlantis burst. So it has green and yellow and all sorts of colours in it, which is really fun, but you can also mix it into a paint. You don't have to use it as a colour burst. So again, I'm going to take some of my water from my Squeaky clean dispenser, and rather than trailing my water over, I think I'm just going to put it over here because it's a much safer way to work. I'm going to mix it up like this. And now let's find a square that we're going to fill in. So let's work with this one. So we're going to start off with that strong colour in the point here. And can I just say that my husband is stealing our biscuits. Biscuits being cookies, but in England we call them biscuits. And despite the convincing accents, we actually live near Cleveland. But he's stealing them because he knows I'm doing a video and I can't do anything about it. And he's behind the camera so he can steal them while I'm showing you how to paint this scrapbook page. So if you hear rustling, that's what you can hear. So these powders also have a shimmer in, which adds that beautiful mica to your page as well. So I'm going to add just a little bit more intensity in the top here, and that's kind of how you get that fade. The more water you add, the lighter it's going to get, and that's how we're going to add that fade in. So I'm going to add that more colour in the top here. So we've got that. So that's our next one. Now the final one that we did was with this gold areas in here. So if I'm going to try and lift this up, but I don't want it to bleed on me. But you can see like here we have the shimmer, and that's using the Tonic Midas Touch pen. So this is a clear liquid that has a gold glitter in it. There's also a glitter gloss that's a clear liquid with a silver glitter in. So it depends what you want to go with. Again, great thing about this is that I can control the amount of shimmer that I put in here, and I can either put it over the top of one of these already, or I can put it in separately. Now I'm trying to find one that doesn't have glitter gloss next to it already, and I'm kind of not succeeding. However, I'm just going to put some down. I'm going to put some in this corner up here, and I'm going to turn this so you can see it so it's a little bit closer. So you can either just put it down and have a really light coat, or give your pen a squeeze, gentle squeeze I should say, and you'll see that little bead comes out, and that's going to give me a far more intense shimmer. And then I can just paint that down. And you can either dry this with a heat gun or just leave it to dry on its own. And it just has so much shimmer. It's a really fine mica, so it's going to have tons and tons of shimmer in there. But you can see how easy this is. So if I bring that corner, I'm going to try and bring it closer. I really, really don't want it to bleed on me, but that's got so much shimmer. It's got that beautiful gold in it as well. And then that also ties together all of those beautiful, beautiful papers we used to mat all of our layers together as well. And the great thing about these coloured cardstocks that I use from Tonic are the fact that I can buy them either in the 8.5 by 11 or I can buy them in the 12 by 12. So if you are a scrapbooker, you can make everything in either size. And as I say, you could use this as a card background. You don't have to use it as a scrapbook background. Now, the next thing I want to show you is the fact that we all make mistakes. So how did I fix mistakes and how did I fix a bleed? So I took the DecoColor Mauve Gold pen, and this is a reasonably fine tip. I'm trying to read on here if it tells me what tip it is, rather. It doesn't tell me. But this one I use because it has quite a fine tip on it. You can see against my hand there. It's pretty thin on the tip front. And all we did is we just went over those lines. And you can see I'm not even using a ruler. Now, you could use a ruler, but I find rulers create smudges when I'm doing things like this. So how do I draw a straight line when I'm doing something like this? Let me show you my trick. So I'm going to choose one that's not wet because that makes it much, much easier. Let's rotate, rotate, rotate. And we're going to do this one down here because we have a little bit of bleeding in this line here. So you're going to put your hand down. I'm a lefty, so that makes a little bit of a difference. If you're a righty, you're going to do it so we rotate it the other way. You're going to start at that. You want your pen to start at the middle. That's how you're going to position your hand. Then you're going to arc your hand so that you go from the top to the bottom. So your hand doesn't actually move at all. And now if I show you that line, it's actually a pretty straight line and it's nice and even too. We're looking at this line right here. So it's a nice straight gold line. So let me show you one more. So you can do fairly long lines with this. So again, you're going to position your hand so that your pen tip is perfect in the middle. So I'm doing this long line along here. My pen tip is perfectly aligned for the middle. And then I'm just going to arc my hand. I'm not moving my hand, it's perfectly still. And then I'm going to go from the top. Again, I'm just arcing my hand all the way to the bottom. Again, a pretty straight line, no ruler needed. So we're looking at this line here. And that is how you get a straight line without using a ruler. Because if I had used a ruler, and you can see I did try using a ruler because there's gold pen all over it. I get my ruler, I do this, and I'm going to do one with the ruler so I can show you what happens. I'm going to line this up. Now I'm going to draw my line like this. Now I have gold all along the edge of my ruler, which A, is really hard to get off. So this whole edge of my ruler is covered in gold. But now when I go to put my ruler on my next one, if I don't remember to clean it off, I get a huge smudge. So it also takes me much, much longer to do it with a ruler. And also, I don't think my line looks quite as nice as when I do it over here. I kind of like the way my lines look when I do them like this. So put your hand positioned perfectly in the middle, and then you just arc rather than move your hand. If you move your hand, you're going to end up with a wiggly line. So they are all of my top tips. So I hope you enjoy creating this scrapbook page or card background or mixed media background. It look beautiful on a canvas as well. Don't forget to get your entries in for the Scrapbooking World Championship. And also don't be put off by the word scrapbooking. There's mixed media entries, there are card entries, there's all sorts of different categories. And there's beginner, there's advanced, there's professional, there's all sorts of categories. So I hope I will be looking at your pieces. I am one of the judges and I cannot wait to see what you create. Again, check out the links in the description. All the products I used are there, a coupon for your entry, also some ideas for free entry if you watch Create and Craft as well. And don't forget to check out the Academy blog post that I wrote today as well. Thank you so much for joining me. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and ring the bell because we are the official media partner for Creativation 2019. And so you will get all the behind the scenes news. We'll be on the show floor first, so you'll have lots and lots of things to see, plus all of the newest releases from all your favourite companies as well. And do give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and maybe you learned some tips along the way as well. I'll see you again very soon. Happy stamping, everyone. Bye.